It's Terri Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Welcome. How are you doing? Today is Tuesday, July 2nd of 2024. And I have a fun technique. It's called cut, shuffle, and stack. And you may have tried the technique. Let me know if you have tried this technique or not. And sometimes it's called different names, but I call it a cut and shuffle and stack technique. And I'm going to be using one of our brand new little sneak peek online exclusive bundles called Iconic Imagery. And this bundle is actually part of a suite. It will be available tomorrow, starting July 3rd, along with a lot of other new online exclusives. So, if this is your first time here, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you could give me a thumbs up and subscribe, that really helps. And if you're on Facebook, if you can click the like and share, I appreciate that too. All right. Well, first of all, I am an independent Stampin' demonstrator in Iowa, and I'm going to turn the camera down, and we're going to get started. All right, I have a couple things to share with you. Today, July 2nd, is the last day that you can order my Christmas in July craft along with me. So you're going to order a kit that I will send to you. It will have all the cardstock prepped, plus about $30 worth of Stampin' Up product. And then you can join me later in July, and we will make the 4 cards. So you can craft along with me as we make these four cards. And I would love to have you join me on Facebook or YouTube. So I'll be on both of those, whichever platform that you like the best. But today is the last day to order. There is a QR code. There's also information in the description that lets you know the cost and when they'll be shipped, and then how to and where I'm going to be crafting along with you. All right. Stampin' Up has bonus days starting tomorrow. So from July 3rd to the 31st, for every $50 that you shop, then you can earn a $5 coupon. So for every $50 you spend, you earn a $5 coupon, and then you can redeem those coupons in August. So if you have, let's say you have 4 $5 coupons in August, you can stack those up and use them all at the same time. So again, more information, and here is where you can shop with me. So this is called Bonus Days, and it starts tomorrow through the end of July. And the last thing before we start stamping is my Rustic Barn Card Club. This is a subscription, and for July, we'll make 5 projects, and I'm going to be using the sketched butterflies, 4 cards, and 1 3D. July 10th is the last day to sign up. You can give it a try for a month or longer, of course. This is the card club is $44, includes shipping, and it ships out by the 21st of the month. And again, there's information in the description. Okay, well, we are going to be using 2 inks today. We're going to be using Pecan Pie and Mossy Meadow. This is my second attempt at this video. So if you happen to watch the first one, I had lots of difficulties. You know, it's amazing when you're just off just a quarter of an inch what it can do to your cards. But we have it all figured out now. Or well, we'll find out if we do, right? Okay, this is a sneak peek of Iconic Imagery, and this is a bundle, although it is part of a suite, but you can pick and choose, get the whole suite or just parts of it. What I like about this is that you can use this for so many different seasons and occasions. Because yes, you can use it for Christmas. You have the pine trees, you have the star, you have the season, peace, joy, light. You also have love for lets you, an and symbol. But you have candles. It could be a birthday card. Um, it could be any type of birthday card for any season. It could be fall with the leaves. You could do a fall birthday or just a fall card. You have stars and hearts. And then you have two larger words, celebrate and grateful. And then a little like a splotch here. I like that the season is one stamp, but all the rest of the words up here are individual words. So you can kind of pick and choose and put them together. So for a Christmas card, you could celebrate the season, or celebrate you for a birthday card. So I like that this has so many different uses that you can use. And then we have the dies to go with it. There are 3 label dies, and we're going to use the largest one. And of course, you have dies that cut out all the images plus some extra. And then we're going to use the pine tree. But I have some cards at the end to show you using the star. So we'll set this aside. And then I'm going to be using the Iconic Celebration 6x6 Designer Series paper that goes with this bundle. And you can see that I have, and it's two-sided. And there is lots of very pretty papers and snowflakes. There's plaid. I don't know if I can. And I love plaid. So the paper is very beautiful. All right, well, we're going to make 4 quick and easy cards using that cut, shuffle, uh, and stack technique. So I'm going to slide that across, and I'm going to bring in our trimmer and 4 pieces of designer series paper. So this is the 6x6 designer series paper. So just choose like 4 sheets that kind of complement each other. And of course, we're going to cut this down. So you could use 6x6 or 12x12 paper. So I'm going to bring in our trimmer. Now, if you don't want to cut all 4 together, you can cut them individually, or you can do 2 and 2. So I'm going to try to stack them together, and I'm going to cut them at 4. I want to make sure that they are all stacked up. So I'm going to cut them at 4. And you might want to go just up and down an extra time. We'll lay this aside. We don't need it. We can use it for another card. And then I'm going to turn and cut this at 5 1/4. So the designer series paper is 4 by 5 1/4. And again, we can use this for another card. So now I have all 4. Now I'm going to cut 2 and 2 just because it's a little easier. So I'm just going to go ahead and have these 2. And then I'm going to cut on the short side. So I'm going to put this back in the trimmer, and I'm going to cut this at 1 1/2. Now you don't have to worry about my measurements because I'm going to send this on Friday in my newsletter. If you're not a newsletter subscriber, then you can find that in the description and sign up. So 1 1/2, I'm going to lay that over here. Then I'm going to bring the other 2 sheets of designer series paper, and I'm going to, again, shorter side at the top, and I'm going to cut this at 1.5. Lay this over here and lay this over here. Now I'm going to take these that I cut at 1.5, and I'm going to turn on the long side and put it back in the trimmer and cut it at 2 inches. And I'm going to try to do all 4. I'm going to put my blade below my designer series paper. So I'm cutting up and then back down. We're going to keep this. And we're going to keep this. So this is the cutting part of our technique. Then I'm going to bring in the other part. And I'm going to put the stack in on the long side. And I'm going to trim this at 3.25. So I'm putting it back in on the long side. And I think I'm going to do 2 and 2 again. I just feel like I can get it. I know that they're stacked up better. So 3.25 with the long side across the top. And then the other 2 pieces, again with the long side. And I'm going to trim this at 3.25. So this goes on top of here. And this goes on top of here. So we have our cutting done. And you could actually cut these they don't have to be the exact like I did. But that's what I like to use. So now I'm going to place them like this, and we're going to do the shuffle. So the main point of our technique is that each of the 4 cards will have all 4 pieces on it, but none of the 4 cards will have 2 of the same pattern. So I'm going to leave this one alone, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to take the top piece, and I'm going to put it underneath the stack. Then I'm going to come over here to the 3rd stack, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to put the first one behind, and then I'm going to put the second one behind. Then this last pile, I'm going to put 3 behind. So I'm going to pick up 1, put it behind the pile, pick up the second piece, and stack it behind, and then the 3rd. And okay, now I would advise you to always just double check and make sure that when we lay them out, that before you add them to your card base, that none of them are the same. So for an example, we can see this first one is not. So we'd be using this one, this for our first card. Go, leave them over here. And then this would be our second card. So none of these are repetitious, repeating themselves. And then on the last card, we have this and this. Okay, I know it looks like a lot, right? So what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and put all these together. This will be on one card and lay that aside. But it's always good to check because if they are repeating, you can move things around so they're not repeating. But if you don't check and then you go to put it on your card and then you find out you have 2 that's repeating, then you can't change it at all. All right, well, we're going to be using, like I said, we're going to make 4 cards. I'm going to bring in our card base, and this is Mossy Meadow card base, and just a regular 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead. I have the others already folded and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this card base, bring in my bone folder, give it a crease. And then I'm going to lay that aside. And we're going to do a little stamping first. We're going to make our labels. So I'm going to bring in scrap of basic white, and I'm going to bring in our die. We're going to cut in a emboss machine. This is our mini. So I'll put plate 1, plate 2, and we'll put our basic white and our die, our label die. And there's a little trick. If you don't, we always think of making everything even, but if you don't have the top plate and this plate 2, both of the plate 2, if you don't have them evened up, then it should cut better. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's just go ahead and prune this. And here's our die cut. And we're going to do one together, and then the others I already have done. So we're going to we're going to start with Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to bring in the 2 pine trees, but I already have them on blocks. So this is like 2-step. Now, it really doesn't matter whether you stamp the inside first or the outline of the stamp first. It's your preference. I find I like to stamp the outline. And you may be asking, if you're a new crafter, well, how can you tell which is which? Well, when you fill the 2-step stamps, one of them will have ridges. So this one has ridges. So I know that it is the outline. And then the other one is smooth when you go across it, and it's for the inside. So we're going to start with the one that has ridges. I'm going to go ahead and ink this up, and I'm going to stamp this full strength on the left-hand corner of my label, just like that. Then I'm going to ink this up again, and I'm going to stamp it, just down a little bit. So I'm making it a little bit lower than I did the other one. Then I'm going to come back with our pine tree for the inside. I'm going to ink it up, but I'm going to stamp off because I want it to be a little bit lighter, and then I'm going to line it up. Just like that. Ink it up, stamp off. And then stamp there. And I'm going to stamp this right between. Put one right between. Now, I could also come back with my outline and stamp off. And then stamp again. And then stamp right there. So I've got the 2-step on the one in the middle too. And then while I have this out, I'm going to move this aside. We'll come back to that. I'm going to bring in a scrap of basic white, and I want 4 trees to die cut. So I am going to stamp full strength. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clean that off camera. Come back with the smooth, ink this up, stamp off, line it up, and these are fairly easy to line up. And I'll say that and then won't get it lined up right. And it's not exact. It's not exact, that's fine. I'm going to stamp off. Okay. Clean that off the camera. Then we're finished with the mossy meadow. And I'm not going to take time to do this. I already have it done, but we would take our die and we would lay it on and we'd run it through the cut and emboss machine. And then we would have four pine trees. So I'll lay those right there. And let's bring our label back. Excuse me. I'm going to bring in pecan pie. And we are going to stamp our sentiment. And I'm going to use grateful. So we'll ink that up. And we'll put that right to the right of our pine trees. There we go. And I already have 3 more done for us. So we have all 4 that we need. Just wanted to show you how to do that one. I'm going to leave the pecan pie out because we're going to stamp. We're going to bring in our basic white layer. And this layer is 5 1/4 by 4. It's for the inside of our card. And I have combined the stamp for and you. So I put those together. So it is grateful for you. So I like how you can, I'm going to stamp it off here, make sure that I have it straight like I want. There we go. So you can combine some of those letters. We could do celebrate you and make a birthday card. You can make a lot of winter cards, fall, or any type of season. Now we could also stamp some trees here, but I'm not going to this time, but you could definitely stamp some trees inside this layer for the inside of your card. We'll place this inside our card base. And then we're going to get to the fun part, our cut, shuffle, and stack technique. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in one of our stacks. And just lay those right there. And we're just going to place this on our card base. And we're just going to line them up so there's a little bit of, you can see a little bit of the mossy meadow cardstock underneath. Okay, so I'm going to start with, I don't know that it matters which one you start with, but I'm going to go ahead and start with this piece right here. Now, I also made 4 cards using some other designer series paper in the same Iconic Celebration designer series paper. I think I need to put some lights on so you can see better. Apologize for that. Is that better? And so I'm leaving a little bit at the top and the side. But I made 4 cards with the snowflakes and some different designer series paper that I will show you when we get these cards made. But I want to show you how quick and easy these are to make. And when you're done, you have 4 cards. So again, lined up some space on the left and the right. Get it as straight as you can. Add a little adhesive. And I try to line it up with that designer series paper, like that's right above me, and that's right beside. Okay, this is our first card. We are going to come back and decorate it in just a second with our sentiment. Going back in with another, and we'll just, it's kind of like putting a puzzle together, isn't it? So this time I'm going to start with this up in the corner. So it really doesn't matter, I don't think, or I don't find that it does, and let's go ahead and get it lined up. And again, I'm going to kind of even with this designer series paper and put a edge around the outside on the top on the right hand side. Should those be going the other way? I guess they're going different ways, so I guess that's fine. And then our trees will go right here. And then we have plaid, pecan pie. So I've used pecan pie and mossy meadow. And then this should fit just like a little puzzle piece. Or maybe it makes you think of quilting. So we have 2 cards finished, and see, we don't have any repetition of the same on each card. We have all 4 patterns on both of these cards, but they're in different places. So we'll bring in card base number 3, and I've already fixed that inside. And we'll bring this right here. And once again, and you can decide which way you want to put that. This goes down here. This fits right in the corner, and our trees right there. Okay, I'm going to start up. I think I'm going to start with this one. You may find when you're working on this that there's one section of DSP that you prefer to start with that just works out the best for you. So I'll get that lined up. Some adhesive. I'd love to have you craft along with me, so don't forget, if you haven't already signed up, today is the last day for the craft along. You need to sign up, and then I will ship out your kits by the 23rd, and then I will be crafting with you on YouTube and Facebook. But now if you're not able to, you can watch the replay. Plus, you will also get tutorials. Okay, and then we have this piece right here to add. And again, I like to line it up right down here, and this corner, and this corner. We'll look at all 4 of these in just a second. Bring in my next card base. I've already added the layer, and I already stamped for you. And bring in actually this slides down here, and this goes right here. Okay. So once again, I think I'll just start with this piece. Leave a comment if you've tried this technique before. I know in my take 1 that I started and I had the wrong measurement of the designer series paper is what I had the wrong measurement on. And Maria said that she had done this technique with 3 designer series paper, but not 4 before. So lots of different ways that you can do this. Again, we're going to line that up. Candy cane. I love this paper. It's so pretty. And again, this paper and the bundle, along with a lot of other online exclusives, will be in my store starting tomorrow. And I do have a host code, and the link is in the description if you'd like to place an order with me. Okay. Let's get this last piece on. All right. So we have this card and this card. So all 4, pieces are on here, but they're in different places. So it gives you 4 different looks. 4 different looks. Okay, we can quickly go ahead and decorate. We already made our labels. So we're just going to turn them over. And the quickest way is to make all the labels at once, die cut all 4 out, and then do all the stamping. Just to save time, I just did the one for you to show you how to do it. But if you're making all 4 cards, I know you want to, then just do all 4 labels at the same time. I'm putting 3 dimensionals on each of my labels, 1 on each end and 1 in the middle. And then we'll just take off poppings or the backings, I guess. Make sure it's turned around, and then we're going to place that about right there. And we'll try to get it lined up as straight as we can. And we're going to do that for each of the cards. Then we'll be adding some pine trees and, of course, those beautiful new gems. Right like that. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I hold the card up to my eyes, up to the front of my face, I can see whether I have it straight or not. Sometimes looking down at it like this, I can't always tell. All right, we have one more grateful. So this is the iconic imagery bundles I'm going to be using for my craft along. This card is not one of the cards. So here is another idea for you for this stamp set. And now we're going to bring in those, remember those pine trees that I'm going to see if I want to do a full dimensional. Yes, we can put a 1 dimensional on the back. You could also use a mini. So we'll just put 1 on the back of just 1 each of the 4. And then we're just going to, so I could have just, so I'm going to put this on right on the front here. I could have just stamped 2, but it just was easier for me to stamp all 3 and then go ahead and cover that up. You also could, you wouldn't have to, you could make it 4 trees if you wanted to go over. So we added those. Have an extra tree there. Just going to put that right there. So for quick and easy, and I have 4 more cards to show you, but we need to bring in these beautiful clear and pecan embellishments, and they're going to be available tomorrow. They're called pecan pie and clear. And I've cut the side so I can just slide it out. I'm going to bring my take your pick tool, which I really, really love. Take the cap off. It has a pointy end. You can twist and turn and then put it back in and turn. And you have like a spatula. And then the other end is a putty. And you just turn it to get more putty out. So I am going to use either the putty end or this pointy end. And I think we're going to use pecan pie. And as I say that, we do have two sizes. We have a smaller size and a larger size. So and there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and put one up there. Put one here. And put one right here. Okay. Go ahead and sometimes the putty side is better, and sometimes the sharp edge. So I'm going to put those right on top of those on the pine trees. Pick up another one and put it right here. And then I think I'm going to use the small ones for these, for the other two. So I'm going to put one right here. One right there. And one right there. Okay, we have one more to do. And then I'll be able to show you these and then the other ones that I have. Put those right in the middle there. Okay. All right, so let's look at these 4 cards using the cut, shuffle, and stack technique. So see how quick and easy to make these 4 cards using this technique, and each of the cards are different with the layout of the designer series paper. So grateful for you. Let me show you the other 4 cards that I made using the snowflakes. Here I use the pine tree and grateful for the focus. And then I'll bring them all back. So here I used, this is also from the same designer series paper pack. And I use celebrate instead of grateful, but I use the same label and I use celebrate. And I popped up 2 snowflakes on each of those. Now on these cards, I didn't add any embellishments, but I think we would want to add clear. So because don't know if I think the clear it will show on the star. So we'll put one right there. And put one down there. Okay, and then let's see if we maybe we will put it right there on our star on our label, because it is Misty Moonlight is what I used for my ink. And then maybe we will just put one right down there. Okay, and then on the other 2, do any of you ever have where am I going to put these embellishments? Sometimes it's easy to decide, and other times it's a little more difficult, isn't it? Or it is for me. And I think we'll put that one right there. Even though clear on the basic white still shows up. And here I'm going to put it right on the star, right in the middle, maybe. There we go. And I guess I could have used bigger ones. I guess I used all small ones on the on these, didn't I? All right. So here we have our celebrate using iconic imagery bundle using snowflakes. And then here we have our grateful with our cut, shuffle, and stamp technique. If I can lay them all out like this. Okay, which did you like the best? Do you like the mossy meadow and the pecan pie? Or did you like the misty moonlight the best and the basic white? I'd love to know. This is such a fun and easy technique if you get the measurements right. And like I said, I will have the recipe tutorial in my in my newsletter this Friday. So if you're already a newsletter subscriber, great. If not, there is a link in the description and you can sign up for my newsletter and you'll be able to get this tutorial along with other tutorials that I send, and you'll be able to keep up with what's happening in Rustic Barn Cards. Again, I'm Terri Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. If you haven't subscribed, please think about subscribing by clicking that subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching. I'll be back on next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central. Don't forget about my card club, ends on July 10th. And today's the last day if you want to take part and craft along with me in my Christmas in July craft along. Take care. Happy July 4th, and bye for now.